Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Organizing Untold. We have our guest here is Jasmine today, and in a few she'll be introducing herself. I'm your host, Sierra Hamilton, and again, Organizing Untold allows us to bring people on who talk about their organizing journey and where they are in their organizing journey, as well as the confidence that they have within their organizing journey. So thank you, Jasmine, for joining us. If you could just let the audience know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for having me. Again, my name is Jasmine Townsend. I am a woman of many hats. So I work a typical 9 to 5 job. So in my 9 to 5 job, I am an office manager and health educator at a doctor's facility. And then I'm also a small business owner. So I have my own small business that's geared towards statement earrings and jewelry, trending tees and things like that, keychains. But outside of me working, I'm also a wife, a mom. So I do have a lot of hats.
Yeah.
But that's just a little bit about me.
Okay. Nice, nice. Well, yeah, definitely a lot of hats, but a lot of like joy within each hat, which
Right.
is nice.
Absolutely. Each of them brings me their own little set of joy. So I definitely wear them with pride.
That's so good. That's good. Well, we'll go ahead and get started and just jump in with the asking about your organizing journey and how organizing has helped you get to where you are now in just
Yeah.
your current lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always, since high school, actually been a person who loves planners. I love like note taking. I love stationary things. So I started with a planner in high school and I carried that on throughout college and I still use a planner, swear by a planner to this day. So stationery is definitely my thing. I'm definitely up to date with the planners. I love sticky notes. I've got sticky notes all over my house. So things like that, I definitely love, and it's definitely kept me organized. I wouldn't be able to do all the things that I do if I didn't write things down. And it's funny because when I was younger, my mom used to say, "You'll everything down."
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's for old people. Old people forget things, old people need to write things down. But oh my gosh, it's like full circle now. I'm like, yeah, write it down, make it plain.
Yeah.
Definitely got to write it down.
Definitely. I definitely agree with you there. And yeah, definitely full circle. I would say the same thing. If like previously before, I've always been an organizer as well. And so like
Mhm,
organizing has always been a love of mine. But there
mhm.
have been times in my own life where it's just if I don't write it down, I'll forget it. And then a
Right,
couple days later I remember it, and by then it's like, well, and sometimes it may not be as helpful to me then anymore.
right,
So
exactly. If it's important, write it down.
agreed, agreed. So with organizing, so being that you started so
Mhm.
far ahead in terms of like high school, how do you feel like in high school there was something that clicked that made it seem like, all right, I know I need to get organized now? Or was it just
Mhm.
something that because they gave planners, you just continue using it?
I think it first of all stemmed from my mom. My mom does a lot of things. She was such an organizer herself, and I think I kind of piggybacked off of that.
Yes.
Also in high school, I was in a lot of things. I was in a lot of clubs. I was cheering, I was dancing, I was doing all the things. And I think at that point it was driving me crazy to where I needed to it's like too much is going on in my brain. It
Yeah.
has to be written down. So I think, yeah, I think I piggybacked off my mom for sure because she does a lot. And of
Yes.
course my dad did a lot too, but of course you know how men are. They don't write things down. But yeah, definitely piggybacked off my mom. And then with all the things that I was doing in high school, it was
Yeah.
definitely important.
That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And so now just realizing that what does organizing mean to you? Like if you had to just define it, what would you say that it is?
Oh my gosh. Like, I think about what life would be if I didn't organize the way I organize, and it would be like complete chaos if I did not. So it's definitely a staple in my household. And my husband is a teacher, so he's got to organize too. So it's great that we're on the same page as far as organizing.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say it's definitely organizing is a staple. And we've got two boys, so we're trying to get them to realize that too. Because I mean, honestly, you don't realize how much you apply those principles in different aspects of your life, but it's
Yeah.
definitely important in all areas. And I mean, it's no early age that you can teach your kids to do that.
That's so true. And speaking of that, how like are you open to sharing how you all go about that and just starting from where they are now?
Yeah. Yeah, so usually how my week goes, is that what you mean? Kind of how my a day in my life goes, kind of.
Yeah.
So usually what me and my husband do, and we have to do this, is first we have to think about the necessities throughout the week, right? Like clothes, what are we gonna wear? So we take usually Sunday afternoon is our planning day or in getting everything into fruition. So we plan out everyone's outfits for the week. So ourselves and the boys included. So we get all that stuff out. We
Yes.
also take the time on the weekend to plan out our meals too. So organizing that and putting that together so that it's not chaos throughout the week.
Nice.
So that is really the foundation of making sure that we don't have chaos. And of course, there's things that come up throughout the week that we have to, add into our schedule. But usually we have a set plan on who's taking who where to school or daycare. But for the most part, we know that our necessities are going to get taken care of. We know that we're going to eat and we have what we're going to wear.
That makes sense. Those are the important pieces.
Right, exactly.
Nice. I love that. I love that. And
Mhm.
the fact that you all have a set day that you come together
Yeah.
makes it even, I feel like that makes it even better because if there wasn't a set day, it's almost like trying
Mhm.
to still figure out schedules and
Right.
see where time lines up to be able to fit
Yeah,
it into another day. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. And we go to the gym and things like that too. So it's just like making sure we plan that day. That just holds us accountable to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing,
yeah,
especially the important things, just making sure that we're able to pencil that into the schedule and stay organized.
that definitely makes sense. That makes sense. And so just moving in a little bit more, like what in terms of like your full-time office job
Mhm.
or job as an office manager, how does organizing tie into that for you? Or what would you say organizing looks like in that type of environment? We are back. There was a slight hiccup in the recording for a minute, but we were just talking about your office manager position and how does organizing tie into that position for you specifically?
So as an office manager, I feel like organizing is on like times a thousand. Um, so not only do I have like a planner like I do in like my regular life, but I also have like an Outlook calendar. So because every day does not look the same. I'm always doing something different. There's always meetings. But of course there's also interjections that happen within my schedule as well. So things have to be pushed back. So I have a personal calendar that I kind of, take with me in and out the office so that I kind of, prep myself at home for the day,
Mhm.
next work day. But I also have like an Outlook calendar. So I double check both of them.
Yeah, that makes
Mhm,
sense. And
mhm.
do they like sync together or
Ye Yes, yes, they pretty much sync together. I try not to the biggest thing with me having, like, a handheld planner, for work is I don't have, like, anything work-related on my phone. I try to leave work at work, work is definitely at work. I use my personal handheld planner as kinda like a mental of note of, "Okay, this is what I have to do tomorrow at work." Not
yeah,
really I don't want to have emails coming to my phone and things like that for work. So I definitely have to draw the line somewhere. So that's
yeah.
why I usually just leave my Outlook calendar here at work on my computer, and then I have the personal calendar just for me to prepare myself for the next day mentally.
That's so good. That's actually a smart idea. It's like
Yeah.
you're respecting your boundaries for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so that you don't overstep
Exactly.
and stress yourself out beyond like
Right.
what you're able to handle in a sense. That's really
Exactly.
good. Is
Yeah,
there
that's definitely my goal there.
yeah, yeah. Is there like a like how did that come about? Is it just like from you knowing your boundaries or how did you
Yes.
decide to do
So
that?
after I'm sorry.
No,
So
go ahead.
after it actually stemmed after we had our first son. So I noticed because I'm always a helper. I don't mind helping people, which also stemmed into work. I don't mind helping you, and that sometimes bled into after hours. So
Mm,
with us having a son, I kind of had to cut that. There's a fine line. I definitely had to draw that line, and it's been good for me. So I've been able to separate the two, and making sure that I devote my time at work is my time at work,
yeah,
my time at home is my time at home. So that's very important to me to make sure that family time is definitely top tier for me. So just making sure that I can respect that boundary.
yeah. I love that.
Mhm.
That's so good. I feel like
Thank you.
that in itself can be like a gem and something that
Yeah.
so many people can like learn from because in society overall we tend to struggle with creating boundaries for ourselves
Hmm.
and knowing how to take care of our families and ourselves and
Right.
separate the lines between like life and play and work. So
Right.
yeah,
Exactly. And it's so easily mixed. So it's definitely good to know your own limits and boundaries.
agreed, agreed. And so
Hmm.
speaking of like kind of like play, but also work in a sense with your business. So
Yes.
let's talk about that. How did you get involved in that, and how does organizing fit into that?
Yeah. So my business is like another one of my babies. um, every time I talk about it, I'm smiling. I'm like smiling from ear to ear.
I love
So
it.
I actually started my business as a COVID hobby. I was at home with my 2 year old at the time, and I was actually pregnant with my 2 year old now.
Yes.
And I was working from home in the house all day. I was over it because I'm very much so extroverted. So I was just like, I need something else to do. So I actually came across these clay earrings when I was just strolling through social media, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. I've never seen them before. I want
Yes.
me some. And then I saw the price on them, and I was like, I don't want them that much. So I started like researching these clay earrings because I again had never seen them before. So I did all this research. I watched all these YouTube videos. And then I started like picking up clay here and there from Hobby Lobby, and just trying to make things on my own. And eventually I got good at it. So that's what started my business. And I've always been like a crafter. I started making like t-shirts and things for different things in high school. So I did that. And I've always had like a Cricut machine, and I've used that here and there to do things around the house, but I was never serious about it.
Yeah.
So my husband was just like, "You do all these things, you do all this crafting, and you should just have a business." And I was just like, "Okay, I'll do that." So
Yeah.
so that's really how it started. I was in the house. I was over COVID,
Wow.
and I needed a hobby, and it's been such a great outlet for me to get to know people in my community and get to know things about, other small businesses. And I've grown a love for small businesses, and I didn't know much about, the small business world until now, of course, but
Yeah.
it's been great.
That's so good. That's good. I
Mhm.
love that. I
Mhm.
love that
Mhm.
story. And it's like
Yeah.
I feel like because it makes you smile every time you tell it to someone, it's also gonna make them smile. It's yeah.
Which is my goal.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is I've always had a love for earrings, and I'm just like, usually I dress up
Mhm.
sometimes, but mostly I love to wear t-shirts. I love to wear jeans and some biker shorts and a t-shirt. But I'm just like, you throw on like a pop of an earring, and I mean, you've made an outfit. So I'm just like, if I can give that one person that pop of confidence and just an earring. So
That
it's
makes
been
sense.
good for me.
That's so good. That's so good. How do you feel like you balance it? Like, so I know we talked about boundaries and just like establishing those and having your planner. Like outside of
Mhm,
those things, is there anything else that you feel like helps you be able to balance having a business, taking care of life and family, and
mhm.
also having a full time job as well? Like, what does it look like to juggle all that?
Um, so it can be a lot, but so planners and sticky notes and all that stuff is definitely like the top. But I
Okay.
also have to say that my husband is a lot, he's like my mental planner and my
Mhm.
physical planner. So,
Yeah.
and what's good for me about my small business is when I do like pop-ups and markets, my family comes with me. So it's not like I'm
Awesome.
going by myself. It's like a family event when we go. Like I literally set up my table. I don't have a chair for just myself. I have a chair for the boys and my husband too. It's a family affair when we go to these things.
That
So I'm
is so
not
good.
losing family time. They also get to know their community and other kids in their community. So it's a good thing for all of us, I feel like.
That's good. That's good. So it's
Mhm.
like, yeah. So like you said, a family event, family affair. That's a
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and it's
nice.
got to the point where my oldest son now has seen the process of how we go and set up for markets. He's like, "Mommy, don't forget this. Don't forget that. You got to do this first." And I'm like, "This is good. Like you're helping me
Yeah.
make sure."
Right. Make sure I have everything that I need.
Right, exactly.
That's so good. I love that. Your little helper.
Right, exactly.
Nice things. Well, I am appreciative of just having you on this episode with us today on Organizing Untold. It's been a good time. We've learned a lot
Yeah.
about just different ways to stay organized, what it takes to be organized when you're balancing more than one thing on your schedule.
Mhm.
And I do want to ask, like, what's an organizing tip that you would like to share with the audience? Like something that you really love to do and that you really are committed to, an organizing tip you're really committed to.
The biggest thing that I would say is definitely, I feel like as adults and in this crazy world that we're living in, definitely know what you personally, what's high priority for you,
Yeah.
not society, just you.
Yeah.
So writing down what it takes to accomplish those things that you want to accomplish and make that top tier for you, and put reminders around your house as to why you want to do those things, and then just make sure it comes into fruition, because if you wrote it down and it was high priority for you, then it needs to be brought into existence. So that's
Mhm.
my biggest thing. I'm very big on making sure that you stay on your priorities as a person, just what's important for you, and you have to be organized to do that. So being consistent, staying organized with it, and just making it a priority if it's important for you.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for sharing
You're
that with
welcome.
us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Before we go, I did want to ask, how do people stay connected to you if they want to continue following you in your journey going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not on Facebook. I know a lot of people ask about Facebook, but I am on Instagram. So it's at JazzCrafted. So at JazzCrafted is my Instagram.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Well, we are grateful that you took some time out of your day today to come on and join us. And again, thank you. And I hope you have a good rest of your Friday, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great Friday too.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Organizing Untold. Um, Again, we just had Jasmine join us to talk about life, her business, and work as well, and how she ties all of that in together. So, life, family, work, and her business, and being able to not just, in a sense, juggle it, but organize it in a way where she's able to enjoy the different hats that she wears. We hope you got a lot out of that episode. And again, this is Organizing Untold. We're here to help those who work 9 to 5 or work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and busy business owners become more confident with organizing. And so we hope that you have been enjoying each episode. We do appreciate your feedback, so feel free to leave a comment and also react to any of the videos that you see that we have shared so far, any of the podcast episodes that we have shared so far. Feel free to leave us a review and give us some feedback. Let us know how you're enjoying it, what you would like to see more of, and how we can improve and become better. And we also want to be able to tell you more about Nicely Placed Organizing overall. And so, again, Nicely Placed Organizing provides organizing services for first time homebuyers, borderline hoarders, and full time artists with art studios and workspaces. And we provide in person and virtual organizing services to these audiences. Right now, we have packages that are going on that you can purchase, and our all in one package is where you get to experience all of our services together. We would love for you to experience that, and we know that the value on that package alone is great. So reach out to us in the DM or contact us by going to www.nicelyplacedorganizing.com and reach out on our contact page there. We would love to talk with you more about what this package entails and also sign you up so that you can experience all of our services that you can get within that package. Thank you again for another episode of Organizing Untold, and we'll be talking to you soon. Bye.